Hey guys, what's up? Shin05T5 here, coming at you with another video. And today's video, I want to talk about how kind of disappointed I am with Sparking Zero. I feel like someone has to kind of come out and say it. It's just not as good as I wanted it to be. And I don't really... it's a hard one for me to talk about, but I think it's really true because I think a lot of Sparking Zero has just died off. I don't see really people talking about that game anymore. I don't see people playing it that much anymore. And even like the big three Dragon Ball Z YouTubers out there, Dotadoya, Cyriax, Rhyme Style, I don't even see them playing it that much. And even if they are playing it, I typically don't want to watch one of the Sparking Zero videos. Like Dotadoya, for example, just started playing Dragon Ball Evolution, and I had more fun watching that than I did them, like their most recent Sparking Zero video. And it's just weird because Sparking Zero is pretty much a lot of what I wanted, but kind of not in the way I wanted it. So, my experience with Sparking Zero is I played it a lot, kind of like the week and a half it was out. Because basically what happened was Sparking Zero came out, I got really excited about it, played a ton of it, and then Sonic X Shadow Generation came out, I think a little while later, or like the next week and a half, and then I started playing that. I played the Shadow section, and I got, like, the Shadow section of that game was so good, I just kind of dropped Sparking Zero, and I just never went back to playing it. And knowing me, being a huge Dragon Ball Z fan, that's, like, unheard of. And I wonder why, like, I just kind of dropped it, and, like, even now, I don't still feel like going back to playing Sparking Zero. And it got me thinking, like, what don't I like about the game? And I think the game is just too modern. And I think another reason why I don't like it that much is because we have Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 4, which is the fan-modded version of Tenkaichi 3, where they had a bunch of like Dragon Ball Super content, like UI Goku, Beast Gohan, Cell Max, Jiren, the Tournament of Power, Zamasu. Things like that. They like added it to Budokai or Tenkaichi 3, and I honestly prefer that game over Sparking Zero. And I honestly think that's the reason why, like, a big reason why I don't want to go back and play Sparking Zero is, like, I'd rather play Tenkaichi 4 because I think it's a better game. And here's why. Mainly because Sparking Zero's controls are more fluid than Tenkaichi 4, but I prefer the stiffer, more structured combo sets of Tenkaichi 4 than I do Sparking Zero. In Sparking Zero, I find a lot of the time people just kind of like fall out of your combos because the camera's moving so fast and just how like kind of fluid the game is. Like, I find it very common that like enemies will just kind of like either fall out of combos or stuff like that. And one of the most annoying things about Sparking Zero is how many vanishes you can do. You can pretty much vanish any attack ever. And with that being said, it means like you almost never land a full combo. And it's super annoying because there's so many options to escape getting like punished. And it's just annoying, and especially when you take it like either online or play some of the harder story mode fights, it's just like you throw out an attack and it gets vanished immediately, and then you either have to vanish their attack or you just get hit. It's just fucking annoying. Tenkaichi 4 doesn't do it that much. The only time the computer vanishes almost everything is when you play it on their custom-made Z difficulty. But other than that, playing it on standard difficulty is so much better. It's like you can actually pull off like full combos and things like that. And that's another thing, is I think the difficulty of the story mode in Sparking Zero is too high. I don't think it's too hard to beat, but it's too hard to really be enjoyable. And I think a good example of that is Well, you saw it when the game first came out, where there's the whole meme of people can't beat Grade 8 Vegeta. He was like one of the hardest boss fights in gaming, and people were having like a really hard time beating him. And it's because I think the game, like, standard difficulty is too difficult, and the way they handle the story mode is like you can lower the difficulty, but if you do that, you can't get any of the side stories. You can't really complete story mode if you're playing on it easy. So you have to play on like the really hard normal difficulty, and it's just not enjoyable. But where like in Tenkaichi 4, I feel like the standard difficulty of that game is much easier and much more enjoyable too. Like, for example, in Tenkaichi 4, I believe you can fight Majin Vegeta, where Majin Vegeta versus Super Saiyan Goku in the Buu Saga. I believe there's actually a special like story cutscene where you could actually turn into Super Saiyan 3 Goku while fighting Majin Vegeta. And if you do like a certain thing, you could actually have like a what if story mode where if Goku went Super Saiyan 3 during that fight, which he doesn't in the show. And when that happened, when I activated that one and Goku went Super Saiyan 3 and I fought Majin Vegeta, it was, I found myself like playing around with Vegeta. Because, like, again, like, me being, like, a child and playing a Dragon Ball Z game, when I was, like, Super Saiyan 3 Goku and fighting Vegeta, I would do things like get full combos in, like, he'd try to hit me and I'd, like, perfect block and, like, parry his attack away and just be like, what's wrong, Vegeta? And I remember there was, like, a specific instance where he was about to do Final Flash, and I just used Goku's instant transmission and went behind him, and it was just like, you're so slow. And just, like, enjoying the game like that is really fun, and you don't get that in Sparking Zero because the difficulty is too high. Because you can't fool around, you can't like mess around with like the AI because you'll just end up losing. And a lot of the fights in Sparking Zero are just bullshit. Because the computer will vanish everything, and then especially like Jiren's last like fight, like the final fight in his story mode, they make you fight like 8 people on a single health bar. It's so fucking stupid. It's just unfair. I don't like it. The difficulty is a real big problem. And I think the last reason why I really don't enjoy Sparking Zero are the menus. I absolutely fucking hate the menus. I've heard a lot of people like the menus. I don't get why. Because basically the way they do the menus in that game is it's all loaded in-game. So, and it's all like 3D models. So like when you're in like story mode, Goku's at like Capsule Corp and there's like Beerus and Whis hanging out. And like you see like characters kind of like moving around in the background. Goku's just kind of standing there hanging out. But then when you move to the next section to do like the versus battles, Goku will fly up and then fall down into the World Tournament stage. And it takes a second for the game to load that. And since it's all in real time, it just makes the menus super fucking slow. And I absolutely hate it. And then when I go back and play Tenkaichi 4, which has the PlayStation 2 menus, where it's just like a static menu where you go up and down and pick what you want, and it just works so much better. I fucking hate the menus in Sparking Zero. And not to mention, picking the characters, it's just so fucking modernized, I hate it. Because when I was first playing Sparking Zero, I couldn't figure out how to pick my opponent. Because, again, like in a normal, like Tenkaichi 4, like a normal game, you'd go to versus mode, you pick who you're going to be, then it'll ask you who you're fighting, you pick them, and then you'll pick the stage. Where in Sparking Zero, it's so fucking modern and they like hiding shit to make it look seamless. It's like you pick the stage first so the stage can load in, and then when you're picking your characters, you have to like, you select the one you want to do, you pick your characters, then you have to hit the right trigger to go to the next, like your opponent's side to pick them. And it's like, I didn't realize that the first couple times I was playing, like versus mode, I was like, can you not pick who you want to fight? But it's like, no, they try to be fancy and like hide that, like your opponent selection away from you. It's fucking stupid and I hate it. And another thing I hate is like when you do like versus battles, they don't reset the character roster. So if you did a battle where you did like 5 versus 5, but then you want to play the next round as like 1 versus 1, you have to go back and remove all those people from your team so you can pick that single person and then move to the opponent's side, remove all of them from their team, and then pick the 1v1. It's just so fucking annoying. I found myself just like getting tired just going through the fucking menus. But then when I play Tenkaichi 4 and it plays like a normal fucking video game, they're not trying to be fancy with it, it just works so much better. So anyway guys, those are my thoughts. I'm done ranting about Sparking Zero. It's just a game I kind of just stopped playing and just don't want to play again. I don't know. It's really sad. Definitely there will be one day where I go back to Sparking Zero and play it. But like, truthfully honest, if I had to pick between Sparking Zero and Tenkaichi 4, I'm going to pick Tenkaichi 4 every single time. I just think it's a better game. I like it more. I think Sparking Zero is kind of held down by how modern it is. And I really think they'd benefit more by, if they make a Sparking Zero 2, to make it closer to the PlayStation 2 game, rather than trying to like streamline it, make it more modern for modern audiences. I think it would be a much better game if they tried making it very similar to the PlayStation 2 in a lot of ways, especially menus. The menus fucking piss me off. So anyway guys, I'm Shin0525. That's all I have to say about this. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Okay, thanks, bye. Later.